Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm the Collector, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2014 LEGO Star Wars AT-AT. This is set number 75054 and retailed for about $110 when it came out in the US. This set has 5 minifigures, including 3 snowtroopers, General Veers, and an AT-AT pilot. I think this set has around 1,000 pieces, I'm not sure. It's actually 1,137 pieces, just to be exact. So I'll correct myself on screen if I'm wrong. And this set, again, came out in 2014, and I think is one of my favorite LEGO sets in my collection. Definitely a top 5. We did get a newer 2020 model this year, but aside from that, this is one of the more beloved AT-AT in the LEGO world. It uses tons of great pieces, like tons of plates, and has some great printing on the figures. So I'm very excited to take a look at the set today. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So here's our lineup of our 5 minifigures. We have General Veers, a pilot, and 3 snowtroopers. But these snowtroopers actually have a new molding for their helmets. At least when these figures came out back like 6 years ago, it introduced new helmet moldings, and that was the 2-part helmet molding. So we can take a look at the back of the figure. You can see it's separate from the actual helmet molding, which was new for these figures when they came out, because the original models of these snowtroopers were a one-piece molded helmet that just had the backpack and helmet connected in one mold. And then we also have our AT-AT pilot, which is standard with every single AT-AT. And then we have our General Veers minifigure, which is a very interesting figure. It has the colors of the older Star Wars figures that have like that, very pale gray color on them. Looks like it's been worn out for a while. And they also have that sand blue color on their helmets, along with the torso and arms of the AT-AT pilot. And this figure is actually the only figure in the set that has leg printing, which I find interesting. But the printing does stretch throughout the torso and the legs, which I think is pretty cool. And the helmet printing for this figure and molding is also really interesting. And we've seen it before, but it is still nice to see in LEGO sets. And here is the AT-AT. This is a very tall and detailed build. It has a lot of cool parts and stands at a whopping 15 inches tall, which is a pretty tall for a LEGO Star Wars set. I think this is one of the 4th or 5th iteration we've had of this set before. Surprisingly, not that many play features. It does lack in the play features, but is a very nice displayable set and has a lot of cool functioning pieces and little compartments in the set. So we're going to take a look at that right now, and I'll show you guys some of the cool features in the set and some of the cool functions it has. So taking a detailed look at the build, right off the bat, again, there aren't really many play features. I think there are 2 play features in the entire set. There is the hatch that is underneath the actual build, which is down here, that drops a trooper down if you just pull the lever, like so. And then there are the 2 flick fire missiles on the underside of the head. You can't really see those, but you basically just push down the missiles and they shoot out. Pretty standard functions in most Star Wars sets. Now, aside from play features, just general features of the AT-AT are, for one, it has 2 opening hatches where you can store your snowtroopers. So you can put, I think, about 2 snowtroopers on each side, and then one in the middle, like I said, that you can drop down. And then it has 2 opening flaps, so you can open it up from either side. And then you can also store General Veers and the pilot in the front compartment up here, where they control the AT-AT and drive it. And you can see they just sort of sit behind each other. Pilot sits in the front with a little control panel, and General Veers sits in the back, really overseeing what's going on. The head is connected to the body by a little ring of circular plates. This design changes throughout many builds of the AT-AT. I think the most recent build, it was like these flexi tube things. But now, in this build, in the 2014 version, it is just 4 or 5 light gray discs that have a Technic pin running through them, and they just sit here and control the neck. It does have some mobility, but it is limited on how it can turn its neck. The neck doesn't go very far, but the head is really where you can get the angles that you want to achieve. Now, I want to get to the legs in a second, but the actual main chunk or torso of the build does have a lot of opening flaps. They don't do anything particularly. There's no speeder brake that comes down here. There's no Luke in this set. There's none of that cool play feature things, but it's just made up of a lot of different opening flaps, and I think it's really cool. I think there's about 6 in total. There's 2 on this side, 2 on the back, and then 2 on the sides, which is pretty cool. Again, same sort of deal with the head also. It has more stiff flaps on the side, and then obviously the main part of the head where you can open it up and find your figures inside. So the set is a lot of plates combined to make these wall structures, but by doing so they get a lot of different techniques and angles used in the build, which I think is really cool to see compared to older AT-ATs, which are very box-like and don't have the shape of these kinds of AT-ATs where it's like a big square in the middle, and it has plates going down the sides to curve it into the neck and curve it into the tail. Now, taking a look at the legs, you do have 4 legs in this set, which, I mean, I'd hope you have 4 legs on an AT-AT. It's kind of standard stuff. But you get 4 movable legs. These are movable in many different angles. You can even put one in the air. It's not very stable, but again, they do have a lot of mobility, so there's a lot of room to move these around. If you want to make a step over something, if you want to make a step on something, there is definitely room to do so. You can change the legs in many different positions to do movie accurate stances. You can do your own stances, like I said. You can design these in many ways to fit a mock or a certain build or something you want to put under it. The legs actually are a very interesting build. They use some Technic pieces and a mix of blocks. So one of the main reasons these legs are able to stand is because they have these giant circular pieces that basically let it go to different angles, sort of like tiny 1x2 clip pieces that have little ridges in them, and you can adjust it to different angles without having it loose. And that's basically what these legs are, but just more upscaled. You can pose them in certain angles, and like you really measure by clicks, so you can figure out how many clicks are on one leg and the other leg, and measure by that. You also have little, almost like tendons inside the legs. Now it's not very visible, but like back here you have these, I think 1x6 little Technic pieces that pin on, and what these do is these keep these feet stable because the feet are actually not fully attached to the build. They're just attached by 2 little Technic pins, but these things really hold them on and allow them to have a little bit of mobility at the bottom, but also keep it from not, being too stiff or too loose. So if we open up this ATAT, we can see we have two figures inside. One of these figures is right here, and all we have inside is really just the bare bones of the ATAT. We have like 4 bricks inside that give it like a gray feeling, but other than that, there's not really much to really talk about. It's a very bare interior. They did not put any effort into making an interior compared to the new version, which actually has seats and like a nice little teal ground. But this is really just the inside of the ATAT. No work to actually give an interior. It's really just the bare structure of the ATAT along with the hole to let these troopers drop out of. But there's no inside. You could basically just take any build like this and open it up and put figures in there and call it an interior. This is probably the bare minimum of an interior we'll ever get in LEGO, and it is mildly infuriating. Well, we have the AT-AT all set up and ready to go, and my overall opinion on this set is there are some upsides, there are some downsides. Now, I think this overall is an amazing set. I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10. Now, obviously, some downsides are there's no interior, and there's limited space in the cockpit for a room, but the figures do still fit. And but again, overall, this is an amazing set, and if you're going to buy an AT-AT, I definitely go ahead and recommend buying the newer one, because this one's going to be like quadruple the price of the new one, and you're going to get more updated figures, more updated pieces, and a more updated model if you buy the new one. And it just came out, so it's still in stores, and you can go ahead and buy it if you do please so. And I really do thank you all for watching this video. This is my review on the 75054, the 2014 AT-AT from LEGO Star Wars. An amazing set I've had for a long time. And I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.